Hi again then guys, and so we've got another Sleeper Spec build for you today, and for any who are perhaps new to this series, basically what we do in Sleeper Spec is we take a vehicle which has a lot of potential, a vehicle which can be improved on, usually handling wise rather than straight line performance, and then we tune it up in such a way that nobody can actually tell. It looks the same and it performs better. And in this particular pick, we're choosing a car which we see massive improvements with, the Cobra. Now, although I said usually these improvements are primarily for handling, this one is actually significantly quicker in a straight line as well because of how restrictive the stock gearbox was. Now, as with most of these Sleeper Spec tunes, I've gone for sport soft tyres, although if you go for racing softs, obviously the improvements will be even bigger. Racing brakes, of course. For the suspension, we've got the ride height on 125 front and rear, so it doesn't look too different to the normal car. Springs we've increased right up to 950 and 875. The dampers to 5, anti-roll to 3, neutral camber and tow. For our gearbox, and of course you can do this early because we haven't done any power upgrades at all, you want an auto setting of 180, then for the individual gears 3250, 21, 15, 1150 and 900, and the advantage of that fifth gear makes such a big difference to this car. The stock version can only hit around 150 under its own power before it hits the red line in fourth gear. This car can do around 20 or 30 miles per hour more than that. So considering it's technically still a stock car as far as anyone else can tell, that's a pretty massive improvement, and kind of a dead giveaway as well if you're racing against someone. For the final drive we've gone for 3.2. For the diff, obviously we've upgraded the clutch, flywheel and prop shaft even. And for the diff we've got the initial torque on 20. I would recommend messing around with that a bit because this car has handling which can be changed to the driver really. I like the car the way it is, obviously, that's the way I've set it, but if you need it to be a bit stiffer or a bit looser, adjust these settings and they will have a big effect on that overall. If you go a little bit lower on the initial torque, it will become a little bit looser, and the other way, vice versa. Acceleration and braking I've got as high as possible. Put that down a little bit if you find it a little bit too tail happy. As far as power, you want to do nothing at all, not even an oil change. If you have accidentally already done an oil change, it's pretty much going to mess up the whole process because you then have to put the power limiter on, which is going to affect your PP and your horsepower ratio. So I'd recommend just doing this with a brand new car, but that is a pretty expensive car to buy, so do what you want. No weight reduction at all, of course, and that's it overall for our Sleeper Spec build of the Cobra. So now let's take it out, of course, to a circuit to compare how much faster this build is in a real track situation. Now, as always, I will be putting the official lap times of both the stock and Sleeper Spec car in the description below if you want to check out the exact time difference. But the difference that it makes around this track is a really good measuring mark, really, of just how improved this tune makes the Cobra. The Cobra's already a quick car, but this just tightens up the steering, improves the top speed, and makes it even more competitive all round. And if the difference in lap time on this track is as significant as it is, imagine how much quicker it could be around, say, the Nürburgring Ring or even Sierra. Now, the stock lap is 1:45.7, or just under. With the Sleeper Spec build, it's a 1:37.8. So the best part of 8 seconds quicker around one lap of this track. And this track isn't particularly long. So as I said, if you take this onto a longer track, especially a track which actually uses that extra 20 to 30 miles per hour of top speed, you're going to see some pretty massive differences. And even more so, of course, in a racing situation. So if you do decide to use this Sleeper Spec build, obviously I hope you find it fun, and it's definitely a lot more competitive. And if you'd like to keep up with other builds like this in the future, be sure to slap subscribe down below for that. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.